Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're taking a look at the Redcat Kaiju. I've had this truck for a while. It was one of the first vehicles that I was doing content with on this channel before I switched to that voltage build. I never stopped driving it, but I kind of put it on the back seat as far as a project to finish that voltage, and now I'm taking a closer look at it. So I was driving this the other day, and I had I usually drive with a lipo monitor on the batteries, and I noticed that the truck was kind of throttling in power, but the LiPo alarm wasn't going off, which kind of makes me think that there was an issue with a thermal on the ESC or the motor or something like that, because the battery was fine. Turns out that the motor was quite hot. I know these are known to kind of run hot. However, I didn't think I would necessarily have to worry about it this early, although I do live in Florida and it was a warmer day. So I decided to look into it. I guess ultimately I'm going to work on some of those DIY server fan retrofits. But for now, I picked up a couple of options. Um, I have with me right here is a dynamite dynamite cooling fan for the 1/8 motors. Um, I got it from Amazon, but it looks like it's distributed by Horizon. I also bought the Castle version of this. Since they were kind of similar, I thought I might do a comparison, but that one won't be here for a while, so I'm gonna try to get this one installed on the Kaiju today. I also just kind of want to show a couple other pieces that I got. I was in Dallas a couple weeks ago, and then Kansas City, and I picked these up. I haven't been able to try them yet, obviously, because they're still in the package, and I'm aware of a fitment issue that will likely need to be addressed on the run for these ones. I don't know if it's a manufacturing defect or a byproduct of the redesign for this arm. Some people don't know, but the early versions of the Kaijus, the factory plastic arms are made of a thinner material in this space, and they are known to break where the turnbuckle screws into the plastic threads. They tend to shear at that spot. Redcat saw that there was a potential flaw there, and to their credit, they beefed up the material in this space on the later versions of the Kaijus. I don't know when that took place, but this is one of the later versions. So I haven't broken any arms, but I figured I'd give these a try. They're sold as left and right kits, so you need, if you're gonna do all corners, you need two sets of them. They're 28 bucks a piece, so they're kind of expensive considering how inexpensive the plastic parts are. But we'll take a look at those sometime. Alright, let's take a look at this motor. So I was running this a little earlier today also. It was like 70, 80 degrees today. Just kind of wanted to see how it would fare a couple days in a row. Let's grab my snips. I'll have links and part numbers for this. I'll probably put a part number overlay in the video, and then I'll put a link in the description on Amazon. not 100% sure how I plan to power this yet. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Anyway, so it looks like the way that this is supposed to work is it just kind of fits over the body, and then you use the little plastic zip ties it comes with. I do have the aluminum heatsink version that Gus was working on, where you have to take the aluminum heatsink and cut a notch in the fins to get around this screw. I don't think I'm going to install that one on here, only because there's a handful of other options, and something like this or the Castle one works. I don't want to cut up the heatsink on something like that. I also think the aluminum version of I don't know what they're called, but they're basically like a heatsink that kind of looks, it's about this width, but they kind of hang off the side. I was gonna pick one of those up to try to do one of the server fan retrofits. Um, I think that might end up being better than one of those nitro kits anyhow. Anyway, but it looks like this is going to be like stupid easy to install. So you're basically just going to clock it on there and then get these little these zip ties go underneath it. At some point I might change these out to some metal ones because I'm a little concerned that, 175-degree motor might bend these and or melt through them or something. I'm working on plans for a ramp, so for right now, mostly what I do is take this to the park or a dirt field and just kind of do donuts and wheelies and stuff like that in it. There's like a edge. It's probably really hard to see. Let me see if I can zoom in. There's a little edge on the end of the fan with a groove for the zip tie to fall in, and it appears like on this one I may have missed it. But that worked. Well, there you go. Super easy to install. A couple of zip ties. Now we just gotta figure out what to do with this sucker. But for now, let's take a listen to this fan. Well, there we go. It starts up. My first thought is that it's not, well, alright. It doesn't feel like it's pulling a lot of air in, but around the motor I can feel a good amount of air. I'm also pretty sure that I'm going to end up changing out this fan because one of the things I noticed is that um, if I read it correctly, the RPM on this is something like 8 or 12,000. I think you can get fans in this diameter that spin up to like I don't know, 16 or 20 something thousand RPM. I feel like that's going to be a better place for this kind of motor. But we'll take a look at that as needed. All right, guys. I was able to find a solution to power the fan that didn't require me cutting into anything or breaking um, into the ESC or the receiver box or anything. So what I picked up was one of these Futaba servo extenders. Um, it's 3 wire, but we probably won't need it, or we definitely won't need it because the fan is only 2 wires. I did a test, like I mentioned earlier in this video, of the Castle versus this Dynamite one. The Castle unit came in, and I installed that on my Corrali using one of these, so I know this method will work. What I wanted to do was take this downstairs into my little workshop area and get the little splitter here installed and make it look a little nicer. We'll need to remove this little hold down for some of these wires because I'm going to have this follow the same basic path of this wire and curve into it. Anyway, let me go get some more zip ties and something to cut these with, and we'll be right back. All right, so first things first, we're going to undo the cable holder here, just 2 mil. I think what I'm going to try to do is run this wire with the rest of these. I'll put that back in, but I'll leave it a little loose. I looked online and I wasn't able to really find too much in the way of specs for these fans. They don't seem to blow very much anyway, so what I'll probably do is um, figure out some way to measure the RPM on them, or just buy upgraded fans where we know the actual rotation speed. I think it works. Yeah, right, so. On these Futabas, it looks like the brown wire is negative, the orange wire is positive, and the yellow wire will be unused. Alright, let's put this in for a test. Hopefully this will fit in there. Alright, they're both spinning. So I think it's definitely going to work. They're both spinning. We're going to have to figure out some way to clean this up a little bit. I'm a little bit of a stickler for clean cable management. I think the only thing that really makes sense is to just kind of follow along this path here and maybe just kind of zip tie these two together around the ESC cable. I'd like to get rid of some of the cable length here. Ultimately, I want to do away with all of this cable. I only ever run single 4S or single 6S packs. So I don't need all this wiring, and I'm going to redo these. I haven't decided if I'm going to do all my batteries in XT150s or all IC5 or all XT90. I know a lot of people go the XT90 route, but a lot of my batteries are EC5 or IC5. But I do have a pretty compelling case for XT150s in the fact that if these were both 150 connections, you could split the connector, and if you did want to run double 3S or whatever, and those had 150s on them, you could potentially split them apart. They already come split, and without having to have one of these, you could route the negative and positive in with the 150s just by the connector type and not have to have the little loop on them. I'm not 100% sold on that though, and like I said, I typically always run a single 4S or a single 6S pack, so maybe it's not even necessarily worth it to think about trying to run double packs easier. Anyway, looks like this is gonna work. I'll probably figure something else out to do with the wires, but we're gonna get a new thermal tester, and it's easy enough to test if this is working or not. Even though I've already installed it, I could just pull the pin here and double check on the thermals. But as you can see, I guess it helps if we have it. As you can see here, ESC fan, motor fan, the Redcat Kaiju motor fan install. I'll have the link to this and the link to the Castle. I should have probably compared them side by side. However, looking at them, they're both distributed by Horizon Hobby, and they both look very similar. If I had to guess, I would say that this fan probably spins a little faster than the Castle, but I don't know that for sure. And at any rate, this fan seems like it spins even slower than the ESC fan, so a fan upgrade on this is probably something I'll look into. I have a fan that I was going to try to put in there. I was going to try to put one of these in inside here. I don't know what speed this is either, but we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting miracles, but if there's any change, it'd be $12 and a few minutes well spent. Anyways, that's it for the Kaiju for the moment. I want to say I really appreciate you guys watching the videos and subscribing to the channel. I don't have a very large channel by any means, but I honestly never thought I would break 50 subscribers, so the fact that we're hovering around 80 by the time I make this, it's pretty amazing to me. I don't know what necessarily compels someone to click on the video that is basically hands, but I want to say I appreciate it. If you're interested in any more kaiju stuff, let me know. Seems like my Arma Granite Voltage content is the bulk of my views, so maybe that's what everyone's interested in. But I have some kaiju stuff planned. I have some Big Rock stuff planned. I have yet to release my Corrali video. I'm still working on that. Anyway, I don't want to ramble on too long. My videos are long as it is. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks.